I'm here. Sorry, am I being a bit loud? Better late than never. Oh. Where's that chat box? Why is there? Oh, there we go. It's popping up there. Oh, guys, I made it just in time. Just in time. Look at that. Oh, shit. Hang on. Right, why can you hear that music? How's that? Is that right? I don't know why I'm picking up so much. Oh, that's because it's so loud. Hang on. How about that? Oh, oh. Am I going to miss? No, we've still got 4 minutes. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to just sort some stuff out here. Apologies. It's a bit of a mess. Where's my output volume? Turn the gain down a bit. How's that? Is that better? Is that better, guys? That seems a bit better. Sorry, I thought I was looking at the inputs and I thought it was you was picking up my TV coverage, which of course would not be good because it would give me a copyright strike. So we don't want that. But how is everyone? Is that better? Yeah. Good. I think I can go back to this now. Just turn it down. Happy days. Oh, what have I missed? What have I missed? I've heard, I've kind of seen in Discord chat and stuff, or my group chats, that there's been, did they do some like parade or some walkout? So, oh, risk of rain is only 10%. Damn it. But right, so we've got the tyre compounds, guys. Let's take it all in. We've got mediums for pretty much the front 6. Top 7. Ocon, Verstappen going for an alternate strategy. He's going to try and stay long, so that obviously he gets some cleaner air once everyone comes in and pits. Understandable. Pirelli today did say that the one stop and the 2 stop is actually as good as one another. So we'll see if you guys maybe go for the 2 stop today, depending on safety cars. Intriguing that the 2 McLarens are starting on the softs. So yeah, and Hamilton on the hards as well. So yeah, I like that. We've got a mixed up grid and we've got a mixed up bunch of strategies, it seems like, as well. So site tells 60% with thunderstorm, is it? Ooh. My brother literally interviewed a lot of people, did he? I missed the weird driver intro. Yeah, I heard. So I heard that they was making an extra 20 minutes, like the grid up or something was an extra 20 minutes longer. This is why we're starting at half. This is why we're starting on the half hour rather than on the hour, because they wanted a whole like driver parade type thing. So very American. In Germany it's 9:30 p.m. Yep, 8:30 here. Then it's 5 a.m. Kaka. Wow, you are committed, aren't you? You are committed over there down under. That's my terrible Aussie accent. Anyone but Red Bull. So the McLarens are starting on the softs because they're clearly probably going to go for a two-stop strategy. They're already committing to us two-stop. Look, ultimately as well here, I mean, we've only had one race. There was a safety car last year. It is very kind of Monaco-esque or street circuit-esque. There's only a couple of runoff areas. And in the places where you can overtake, if someone has a crash or there's like wheel banging, then at the end of the day, a safety car is going to need to be called or a red flag. So if they're on the soft tyre and they can gain some positions early on and then a safety car comes out, then happy days. They're then level playing field and gained some positions, whereas as everyone lines up behind the safety car or whatever, or restart. So, Kaka, thank you for the membership, buddy. 7 months. It'll be a year before we know it. Wonder if Verstappen risks it all to keep first place in the championship. No, I don't think he will. I think he's going to bide his time. He's got a fast enough car here today. It's pretty much similar to Saudi. The circuit is similar to Saudi. He's going to have to hope for a safety car to really have an opportunity at Perez. It's definitely Perez's to lose today. Verstappen is going for second place, and there's no reason why he can't. The fact of that there's such a long back straight where the Red Bull is just going to breeze past everyone in front of it. There's not one car with the DRS open that can handle that Red Bull at the moment other than his teammate. So, yeah, Verstappen's literally just got to wait the whole lap pretty much. He can overtake people either into turn 11, but then obviously it's going to be very dirty air and he's not going to get the greatest of exits out of turn 8. Turn 16, through the chicane, keep it tight. I mean, look how long that back straight is. It'll easily breeze past everyone. Alonso said he expects Verstappen to be on the back of him by lap 25. Who knows? I think it'll be a bit longer, but I think ultimately this is another Red Bull 1-2. But I just hope that it's Perez who's in number 1. So I made it just in time, dogs. Yes, just in time. The traffic was very kind to me. So basically the reason I was a little bit late, guys, the missus decided last minute that she wanted to go out tonight. Well, one of her friends, a couple of her friends asked her to. So me being the kind supporting partner, boyfriend that I am, I didn't want her to get a cab because it was quite far. So I gave her a lift. So that's how much I love her, guys. I sacrificed the start of the Miami Grand Prix, a new lot, for her to have a night out. So, but at least I know she's there safely. That's the main thing. Max said the best he'll do is P2. Yeah, and I think he's a lot more mature now. He's got to play the long game. This is more about him securing a P2 rather than Perez winning and losing 25 points. Possibly even more because of fastest lap. So everyone's gridding up now. Sargent's coming down the back. Can Perez get a good start? Because he's quite normally very cautious on the first lap. Not a prominent start. Good starter. Is it going to be similar to the Saudi Grand Prix where he lost first position to Alonso? We will see. So they're lining up now. The Miami Grand Prix is only literally just a minute or so away. Imagine we have a few crashes considering incidents in FP and quali. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. I'm kind of hoping we don't, because it's intriguing that everyone's on varying strategies here today. For once, there's a decision to be made whether you want to go one stop or two stop. They're kind of as fast as each other. We've got a mixed up grid. A safety car, as we know, kind of nullifies the race. A red flag definitely nullifies the race. So I hope we don't get a red flag at least. But here we go. Everyone is lined up, guys. They are ready. The lights are on. And it is the start of the Miami Grand Prix. Here we go. And it's lights out and away we go. And it seems to be that Perez has got a decent start as he leads into the first corner. Alonso is close behind, as it seems Tsunoda has had an absolute shocker and dropped all the way down to 19th position. Hulkenberg is up a place. De Vries has lost 5 positions and he's down into P20 already. What has happened there? But Magnussen has lost a couple of positions as well. Maybe a bit of wheel spin off of the start. But Perez is already pulling away from Alonso as they go round turn 7. This is where Leclerc lost it yesterday. And is there any movement? Verstappen's actually lost the position to Bottas off the start. So Hamilton also losing the position to Piastri. So some of the big dogs there losing some important positions. Just watching it on TV now. Perez covered off Alonso as Alonso tried to sweep round the outside and just held him off. And, oh, wow, there was contact. Tsunoda really massively locked up there, and that's why he dropped down to the back of the grid as well as De Vries. So I think the AlphaTauri is connected there. But as we can see, as they go through the fake marina and through the chicane for the first time, Alonso is already 1 second behind. Sainz 0.7 seconds behind there. And as you can see, the intervals are pretty close and tight there. Everyone kind of within that DRS zone. Of course, DRS not activated until the second lap. But yes, the big losers there. Verstappen has gained back a position from Ocon. But the big losers there are Nick De Vries, Lando Norris. Tsunoda's now made up a couple of positions, it seems. Magnussen has dropped down to 7th. To be expected, not his race today, trying to finish in the top 6. Gasly going well, by the way, holding station in 4th position, or gaining a position, as well as Russell as well. So the first lap navigated. Perez doing what he needs to, pulling out that gap from Alonso. It's not Saudi 2.0, guys. And yes, so I'm waiting for a replay to happen for the start. But it definitely looked like Yuki Tsunoda massively locked up. And I think he either made contact with De Vries or he at least got in De Vries' way. And that's probably why he fell behind. But yeah, let's have a look at the moment. So Hamilton being chased by Piastri and Hamilton falling back from Albon, it seems, just within the DRS zone, now outside of it, as you can see on your screens. Obviously, he's on the harder tyre. Piastri is on the softer compound. So Hamilton may have to give up this position as Verstappen goes past Bottas into turn 11, one of pretty much the 2 opportune overtaking zones here at the Miami circuit. So, whew. That was a bit of an interesting start, guys. Ocon down into 10th position. Bottas 9th. Magnussen holding station there. But you can see Russell starting to pull away there from Leclerc, who had to take a new gearbox after his crash yesterday. So, yes, not too much occurring at the moment. Hopefully that isn't a phrase that I repeat over the course of this race. But, yeah. Perez is the GOAT when it comes to tight circuits. He definitely is. He definitely is. So, where are we next week? Next week, there is no race. We have a break, and then we go to Imola for another triple header, I think it is. Where, actually, and Sargent is in the pits. Logan Sargent in the pits. I assume he's picked up damage. He must have had damage. Or has he hit the wall? Has he had contact at the start? Oh, Logan Sargent said there, let me just go back. I think it's off. What did he say? I don't know particularly what he was saying there, but Lewis Hamilton reporting that they must be the wind. There's a lot of buffeting going on. Yep, wind is 9.2 miles per hour. So similar to what there was in qualifying. As Verstappen, DRS is now activated, guys. So as you can see there, really closing up on Leclerc, Magnussen and Verstappen. Has Verstappen been able to get past Magnussen here? He just needs to be patient as Magnussen gets past Leclerc. So now Verstappen is on the back of Magnussen. Now Verstappen is on the back of Leclerc. He's just got to bide his time, obviously, through the tight chicane, that horrible bumpy chicane, and going through turn 16. And this is where Verstappen will breeze past Leclerc, I think. But Leclerc will also have DRS on Magnussen. So while Magnussen got that move done and dusted, as you can see, Leclerc is coming back. Has he overtaken Magnussen? There's a little bit of delay there on the track map. I don't think Verstappen has been able to get past Leclerc, as Leclerc has got past Magnussen. It seems like they're side by side as they go through across the start line, and Verstappen is there as well. Has Verstappen done a double overtake? Verstappen has got past Leclerc and Magnussen in the space of like one corner. Oh my God, 2 positions made up there on the back straight, it seems. unbelievable. I'm just watching it on TV now. That was exactly what Verstappen needed, because he can now catch up to Russell, because he is currently, as you can see there, 6.6 seconds behind Perez. Obviously, Alonso is really his fight today, but he is making some real good headway. So Leclerc and Magnussen went side by side through turn 17, and then due to them going side by side, Verstappen got the run and made a double overtake with the DRS open down into turn 1. That was a great overtake, regardless of them having a very super quick car. That was a brilliant overtake by Verstappen down into turn 1. If you get an opportunity to watch the highlights afterwards, guys, watch that, because that was impressive, regardless of what you think of Red Bull and Verstappen. So Alonso setting the fastest lap time there at 33.2. That is interesting, although Perez has set the fastest first sector of the race so far on this current lap, as you can see, and Max holds the fastest second sector. So Max got a little bit of free air now. It seems to be Russell and Gasly are going quite well. They're sticking with Sainz. Sainz not able to get within that DRS of Alonso, it seems, at the moment, as Piastri is currently up 5 places, close behind Hamilton. Interesting to see how quickly those softs fall off, guys, and when Piastri is actually going to pit. Quite a cool track temperature today compared to qualifying, 33.9 degrees. So turn 1 incident involving cars Norris and De Vries reviewed. No further investigation. So it was De Vries and Norris who had a coming together, which is why De Vries fell to the back of the pack. He is really suffering there at the moment, as Norris is in the pits. Norris is in the pit lane at the moment. Is that strategic, or is that because he does have some front wing damage? How long was his pit stop? Doesn't quite say on here, but he's gone on to the hard tyre, so maybe wanting to get some free air, try and do an undercut already. Do they think the hard tyre can go to the end of the race? I don't know if it can. But I'm just watching the replay of the start now, guys. So let's have a look. Good start by Perez. He actually launched really well there. Ocon didn't get a good one. Bottas did really well. And, oh, yes, Sonoda. No, it's De Vries. Okay, so De Vries was the one who locked up, not Sonoda. I apologise, Yuki. So that is why De Vries is at the back, and he made contact behind Norris. So I think Norris's pit stop then, he hasn't got front wing damage. That is strategic. They've pitted him early to get into some free air. Oh my God. Wow. Lewis nearly got wedged in there. He was definitely a sandwich in between Nico Hulkenberg. So just on board with Nick De Vries at the moment. He didn't get a best of starts, and then locked up his front left and hit the back of Lando hard. But it seems like Lando's car is okay. De Vries had some front wing damage. So yeah, that is why. And Yuki had to take avoiding action. So that's why Yuki dropped down at the start as well. So yeah, Norris and Piastri both pitting strategically here to get an undercut, get into some clean air, and go onto those hard tyres and run long. Look, because they're not making a lot of headway, obviously, the traffic there, as Verstappen is closing up on Russell. Russell's fallen back a little bit as I was reviewing, obviously, the replay there of the start. So what has happened there to Russell? Is he just slow? His last lap was a 33.7. So I think he's had a little lock-up somewhere for him to be so far behind Sainz and Gasly, because they were lapping very similar. But Perez out up front at the moment, 33.2 compared to Verstappen's 32.8. Verstappen is now in the DRS, so Hamilton reporting the car's not feeling great, guys. Ooh. So, Stroll qualified 18th yesterday. Yeah, not great. Not great. What are they saying the chance of rain is? I heard 10%, but someone else said it was 60%. So, yeah, Lance Stroll's just trying to make his way up the field. He's on the hard tyre, going to go long. Hopefully try and make some headway if he can. So 32.7 there for Verstappen. Quick lap times there for Sainz and Alonso. Considering Verstappen is, I know he's in DRS, but Sainz is now up actually behind Alonso. This is interesting. So Alonso was comfortably ahead of Sainz out of the DRS, and now Sainz is within 0.7 seconds of Alonso. If he stays tight to him through turn 11, he could probably have a go at him down into turn 17, down the back straight. So The F1 app said it was 60%, but your software said 10. Yeah, I mean, this is linked up to kind of what comes through on F1 anyway. Not the live app, but through... Oh my God, Esteban Ocon really had to take avoiding action through the chicane. He went, nope, I'm not making that. Woo, launched it over the chicane. So Ocon currently in 9th position, chasing down Leclerc. Leclerc is on the medium tyres compared to Ocon on hard. So there's a bit of, as I said, mix of strategies here. Remember, Verstappen, I mean, he's setting the fastest laps at the moment on the hard tyre, the hardest compound tyre, and he is fastest man on circuit. Of course, he has to, because he's trying to make some headway here and catch up to his teammate. But interesting. Look at that. Look at that DRS train at the back straight there. So Leclerc catching up to Magnussen. Sainz wasn't able to get past Alonso. Logan Sargent being told tyre management okay. I don't think it really matters at this point, Logan. Look how far back you are. Mods, please. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Don't go over to that channel. Guys, we have 140 people in here. Really appreciate you all being in here. We have 19 likes. If you can hit that like button, it'd be much appreciated. If we could get to over 100 likes on this stream, it helps push the channel and, of course, pushes me towards, obviously, new viewerships and stuff. And it's a token of your appreciation as well. I'd like to see how many of you hit the thumbs up button. And, of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe. We'll be doing more. And we're back for Imola in a couple of weeks' time. I'll make sure I'm on time this time, guys, and I'm not in a rush. I'll make sure the missus is a bit more organised. Hey, William, good to see you, buddy. Let's keep pushing. Yes. So, no, much appreciated. So, let's have a little stock of the times and of the running at the moment, as Gasly has fallen back quite a bit from Sainz at the moment, doing 33.3s compared to Russell is doing a 32.8. So, yeah, Gasly, I think he's in a bit of tyre management mode at the moment, Gasly. Or maybe those mediums are already starting to fall off. I think it was 14 laps. So Verstappen easily getting past Russell there with DRS open down the back straight. What we kind of expected to see. This is interesting, though, because Verstappen and Perez are on varying strategies. And I'm a little bit concerned that Perez isn't putting way far enough to Verstappen. But maybe this is what he's been targeted. Maybe Perez is being targeted to do these 33s. Maybe get into the 32s and just eke these out. Obviously, he's quite comfortable to Alonso and Sainz. They're not his race. So, he kind of want to make these go as long as possible, I think. So, but funny enough, Verstappen did George Russell on the brakes, and George just kind of let him go past. Obviously, it's not really his fight, which is a shame to say, isn't it? Mercedes' fight isn't Red Bull. Is Perez pulling away from Alonso? Can't see times. Your screen is blurry at the moment. No, he's not really. George Russell reporting big vibration on the brakes. But yeah, Perez is actually doing 33s. Alonso is 1.5 seconds behind, so he's not pulling away. I think Perez at this stage of the race is just tyre managing. For him to be doing 33s, I don't think... Because he could quite easily pull away a lead here on Alonso and the other guys. But the thing is that he doesn't want to tear through his tyres. Of course, Max is going hard on those harder tyres, trying to get ahead of Gasly, as he does. So in 2 laps, he's got Russell and Gasly, dispatched them both down that DRS. And yeah, next on the list is Carlos Sainz, and not far up the road, only 4.7 seconds up the road, is Perez on different strategies, though. I tell you what, Verstappen could win this race today. Verstappen could very much win this race from 9th position. I'd be intrigued to see what the radio messages are for Perez at the moment, because he just did a 33.0 last time around, putting out 2 temps on Alonso. But, guys, is Perez saving tyres already? I've got to assume so. Whereas Verstappen is pushing. Of course, he has to push. He's on the harder compound tyre, and he needed to make up those positions. So the difference here is obviously they're on different strategies. It'd be interesting to see how much. Russell did get ahead of Gasly, just seeing it on my TV screen. So missed that on the track map. So Russell ahead of Gasly now. Gasly's still doing well though in P6. Best of kind of the rest, really. Leclerc's not doing great, is he? Leclerc's stuck behind Magnussen. What's that? B for Lance Stroll. So Norris and Piastri, let's keep an eye on those because they pitted early. They pitted early and they're now on the hard tyre. Is their big undercut going to work? Is anyone else out there going to do a two-stop? I don't know. I think the guys on the mediums are going to be doing a medium to hard stop. I don't think they're going to be doing a two-stop. And the guys who are on the hards likewise. So I think Piastri and Norris, unless they're going to try and take these hards to the end of the race, but I'm not sure. That's a long way to take those tyres. But Perez now getting a bit of a move on. A 32.5 last time around. That's a little bit more like it. 2 tenths faster than Verstappen. So I think Perez was just in a bit of tyre saving mode. It'd be interesting to see how he does this lap around. Obviously, the gap to Alonso isn't too important. It's the gap to his teammate Verstappen down in 4th position. That's what we need to kind of really keep an eye out on. But at the moment, the pit window, no one can pit. No one can really pit from the front because they'll come out. Well, Perez could pit, but they'd come out behind Stroll and likewise Alonso, and that would as well. They'd come out right behind that pack, and that's not what they want to do. So, hey, Javier, good to see what is going on. I don't know what's going on with Stroll's radio. I think it's probably just a disconnect of the app and stuff. So, Perez is losing time on straight to Alonso. Maybe, but it's probably not. The thing is, Perez is probably not pushing out of turn 16. So, because if you push out of turn 16, it's a tight corner. You're going to be tearing your rear tyres apart. So, but Verstappen there, look. So, Russell saying, my gut tells me it's going to be a plan A race, which is a one-stopper. So, Perez did a 32.4 last time around. Verstappen a 32.2. So, Perez is most definitely tyre saving at the moment. Verstappen is going gun-ho on those hard tyres. Perez could probably go into the 31s, I reckon, quite easily on those medium tyres. But he is saving. He is not pushing. He's thinking of the long game here, whereas Verstappen is tearing those hard tyres apart. He doesn't care. The strategy here was to make up as many positions as can be. Greasy tyres banging the walls pretty soon. Yeah, so spreading out a little bit now, down to 9th position. All aboard the Bottas train at the moment, it seems. Leclerc is still behind Magnussen, man. That can't be the plan. The plan can't be to tyre save behind Magnussen. Unless it is. How many laps? You can see at the top of your screen, 12 out of 57 laps completed, so 46 left. Norris is now catching Piastri, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Lapping much quicker. Well, Piastri had a very poor lap last time around of 35.0, so he definitely had a wobble, which is why Norris has been able to get up to the back of him. But Sainz sitting comfortably behind Alonso. I wonder how long he's going to sit behind Alonso, though, with Verstappen approaching. But the problem is everyone knows that Verstappen is pretty much going to overtake him. There's no point fighting because you're just ruining your race. So, like I said yesterday, Silver Arrows are allergic to street circuits. Yes, they are, very much are. So, Leclerc's a lot closer to Magnussen now. With DRS open down the main straight, is he going to be able to get an overtake done down into T1 on the brakes? It seems like he's very close, as Sainz is reporting that the fronts are struggling. Of course, the Ferraris are not great on their tyres. Probably one of the worst teams out there for it. But you can see Ocon has closed up real behind Charles Leclerc there. Is he going to have an overtake, Ocon, through turn 4? That'd be very bold. And Verstappen is all the way on the back of Carlos Sainz. So keep an eye on this. DRS open, but Sainz has DRS as well. I don't think Max is going to be able to get him into turn 11. But we'll probably just save his... We'll probably just wait for turn 16 and get the run down there on the brakes into turn 17. But Perez just comfortable at the moment. 32.3, setting the same lap time last time around as Verstappen. He was fastest in the first sector, a purple, as you can see there on your screen. So and he's purple this time around. So Perez has definitely got on a move. On, and will be setting the fastest lap this time around. I think, although Verstappen has just beat him with the help of DRS in the middle sector. So is Verstappen going to get a move done here on Carlos Sainz on the brakes? No, but he's very close, and he's probably going to have a move down into turn 1. Obviously, the Red Bull just absolutely supreme out of the slower corners compared to everyone on track, as Perez does the fastest lap of the race of 31.9 with no DRS, bearing in mind Max sets the fastest lap with DRS assistance. So Verstappen not able to get past Sainz. So Sainz's DRS at the moment is helping him hold off Max. Max being a bit patient, but Perez is getting a bit of a move on now with the medium tyre. So those lap times, of course, Max setting the fastest lap last time around there, but he's got DRS assistance. Perez doesn't. So that is a big benefactor. So I think Verstappen's going to get Sainz here. It seems like Verstappen is a lot closer to Sainz than he was before. DRS open, of course, Sainz is as well. 0.3 seconds. You can see that marker getting closer and closer and closer. I think he's going to make a move. I think he's definitely going to make a move here. It looks like Sainz might have even slightly lifted to not compromise his exit through turn 11. And yes, Max Verstappen is now all over the back of Alonso. And with Alonso with no DRS is most definitely going to be a victim to an overtake here down into turn 17. And that will be 14 laps. And he's already back up behind his teammate in P1. From P9 to P2 in 14 laps, guys. I mean, credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. But that Red Bull is just shows how quick and supreme that Red Bull is. Godlike, yeah, godlike. Although Alonso's held him off. Of course, Alonso's a wily fox, but Alonso's going for P3 here today. So Perez now. This is where we're going to get into the interesting stage of the race. So Verstappen is on a set of hard tyres. Perez is on the mediums. How much has Verstappen taken out of those hard tyres? Because it's most likely Verstappen's going to go onto the mediums. So he's going to have to take those hard tyres longer than probably he would like to. Or he's going to have to eke out his mediums longer than he would like to. Whereas Perez is going to have probably the comfortable hard tyre life and just be comfortable pushing those hard tyres pretty much to the end of the race. So will Max come out ahead of Perez in the pits? I don't know. Perez is definitely going to pit first compared to Verstappen. But there's a bit of a gap forming now back there. But Perez, so Albon, that pack of Albon is 23 seconds. That's right in the pit window. So Perez would come out behind those, which is not what he wants to do. But he's obviously quite comfortable on those tyres at the moment, guys. Verstappen is past Alonso. It's taken 15 laps, 10 laps less than what Alonso predicted he would get up behind him. And, well, yeah, there we go. Oh, ridiculous, guys. Absolutely ridiculous. So, the chase is on. It's interesting up front. Where is Hamilton, by the way? Let's have a rain check on Hamilton and check in on him. So he's up 2 positions now into 11th position, chasing down Bottas. Doing 33.8s last time around. He's on the hard tyre, bearing in mind, guys. So he is going to be going longer than some of... Well, not some of these guys. As Bottas gets Hulkenberg, and... Is Hamilton now going to be able to get ahead of... Oh, Bottas comes into the pit. So we have our first medium runner. Oh, no, Magnussen, sorry, all just pitted. So we are starting to see the medium runners come into the pits. So we have De Vries, Bottas and Gasly in the pits as well. 15 laps is what they've been able to take those mediums onto the hards. So they think they're going to be able to take those hard tyres 42 laps. What? 42 laps? Come off it. I really thought we was going to see a two-stopper here today. I really thought we was going to see a two-stopper. That is... if that is the case, I'm a little bit disappointed. And I think Pirelli may have dropped the ball again in regards to the level of compounds that they've brought. So, one-stoppers, let's be honest, they're a bit boring, aren't they? They're a bit boring. Evening, Veronica. Good to see you. Good to see you. Max has Perez, if that's the case. Yeah, if Max is able to take those hard tyres that long, But I don't think he will be, because he's been pushing those hard tyres a lot harder than anyone else probably would be at this stage of the race now, because obviously he's had to make his way through the field and force some overtakes and really get on the throttle to get the use of the DRS. So that's my thinking anyway. Keep an eye on Max's lap times. Of course, he did a 32.3 last time around, whereas Perez did a 33.0. So, So Gasly just ahead of Magnussen there. Norris been able to close up the gap on Bottas. I mean, I think McLaren do think the hard tyre can go to the end of the race from... I mean, they think they can take it 47 laps, pretty much. That's obscene if that is the case. That is ridiculous. That'll be 2 races in a row where people have been able to take the hard tyre pretty much a whole race length distance, which in my opinion, guys, is just wrong. We should never see a tyre that can go a whole race length distance. It's just not right. It's not right. It provides boring races, and pit stop at the end of the day, strategy is a part. Of course, time management comes into it, but we want to see guys going full out, and yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. New surface and try not to change rubber. Yeah, I think they're a bit scared. Perez, Alonso, Sainz, the bet. Just listen to Martin Brundle now. So Martin Brundle saying, as the track is rubbering in and as the fuel load comes off, the medium tyre is going to be better than what it was at the start of the race. So that could favour Max. Could favour Max, as Max is setting faster lap times at the moment on the hard tyre. He's half a second quicker than his teammate Perez there. So Perez stating that the tyres are starting to give way. So Perez is struggling as Russell and Leclerc are into the pits. Russell is going to come out behind this pack of Albon, Tsunoda, Zhou and Stroll. Obviously, they're probably predicting that they're going to pit. Well, no, they're on the hard tyre. So they're going to pit not for some time yet, as Hamilton is all over the back of Hülkenberg here. Let's see if Hamilton can stay tight through the fast turn 5, 6 and 7. It's all about the exit out of 8. The Mercedes is much better through the faster corners than it is through the slower speed corners. So let's see if he can get the DRS here. Of course, the problem is with the Mercedes is that it's not that powerful with the DRS open. So Hamilton with DRS open, can he get Hülkenberg, into turn 11? And no. Now keep an eye on that interval there, 0.5 seconds. Can he stay tight through turns 11, 13 and through the tight chicane? Oh, don't know. The Haas has been quite good here this week. If he stays within that half a second, it's all about the exit of the tight turn 16. If he stays within half a second, I think he's going to get Hülkenberg here. Drops back a 10th on the exit of 16. DRS open. Can he get past Hülkenberg on the brakes? I still don't think the Mercedes can. Here they go, and it can't. He only made up 2 tenths with the DRS. What? The Mercedes just is useless with the DRS open, guys. So Sainz has now come into the pits and is... Oh my God, where's Sainz coming out? Sainz is coming out. Oh my God, Sainz is just ahead of Albon. Lucky boy, I tell you what. He's going to be under attack from Albon, though. That outlap is going to be essential for him because Albon is... they're quick in a straight line, the Williams, but wow, that was close. That's actually worked out not too bad. It was so close to them being terrible and coming out in the middle of that train there. So McLaren, Mercedes, what is happening? Such low positions. Just not good here this week. So Perez is 132.4. So we did answer a little bit to Max that time around, but Max is comfortable on those hard tyres, guys. Surely Perez is going to come into the pit soon, but the problem is for Perez is where is a gap? So if we look at the moment, can he come out ahead of Hülkenberg? I think that is really what he's looking at. 22 seconds. I'm not sure he can. What is the pit stop loss here, guys? I really don't know. It's quite a short pit stop, isn't it? What is the pit stop? So Max is 1.5 seconds behind. Perez struggling on those soft tyres, 7 tenths slower than his teammate Verstappen last time around. So just looking at the TV camera angle, and there is so much graining. Oh my God, on those medium tyres. You can almost see the threadbare of the tyre. They are really dropping off. No wonder he's struggling. Obviously, the hard tyre is going to go longer. Only 20 laps in. So if we think about it, only like 20 laps into, like only halfway through into their tyre life, apparently. So time for Red Bull pit stop magic. Yes. Yeah, they're going to need to be tight. So I think they're trying to build a gap. They're trying to find that gap to Hulkenberg at the moment. That's what they're trying to do. I generally think the ball is in Verstappen's hands at the moment now. I think it's Verstappen's to lose this race. I think it is. I mean, the fact of it, he's so close to Perez now. So hang on, just listening to my... So, yeah, so they've just got enough for a pit stop window. So 22 seconds. So I think it's about 21 seconds, 20-second pit stop lost time. So Perez can make a pit stop now and come out ahead of Hulkenberg. Of course, Ocon is on the hard tyre. He's running a lot longer. So is Perez going to come into the pits this time around? He is. So Perez has taken those medium tyres, 20 laps. He is going to take those hard tyres to the end of the race. Now, Red Bull need a sweet pit stop here. They need to be on point because they cannot afford to have a 4-second pit stop. Otherwise, Hulkenberg is going to be out ahead of Perez. And I think they've done a good job there. It didn't seem stationary for very long. And he's going to come out into a nice gap there ahead of Hulkenberg. Happy days for Perez. Woo! So, Sainz. Yeah, Sainz has just got past Hamilton and Magnussen, hasn't he? So I was just keeping an eye, obviously, on the strategy there, guys, on the strategy. So, Sainz speeding in the pit lane. It has been noted. Oh, so is Sainz going to get a 5-second time penalty? What's he doing? Waiting for the safety car? No, just trying to, obviously, they're trying to build a gap to Hulkenberg and Perez, and Sainz so that they could get out ahead. So, tyre situation, honestly ridiculous. Hard coming 40 laps at mediums, barely over 20. Yeah, it's just... Pirelli have messed it up again here this week. They messed it up at Baku as well. And I mean, I don't know if Red Bull maybe predicted that the hard tyre could go this long. But if Max can do kind of the similar pace, 32s now, on what he's doing, I mean, Max could even probably like take these hard tyres and put a set of softs on at the ends. That's like what is predicted. That's what I think other teams are predicting they can take these tyres to, is around 40 plus laps. So he could do 40 laps on this set of tyres, or 45 laps even, and then switch onto the softs and be absolutely supreme at the last 10 laps of the race. Last 12 laps of the race. I think the softs could probably do that with obviously the track rubbering in and obviously lighter fuel load as well. They'll last a lot longer than what they would do at the start of the race. So yeah, Leclerc's mistakes, is this him struggling psychologically? Is there something else? I just think I'm on the Missed Apex podcast later on this evening, guys, so be sure to tune into that. Follow him on Spotify and on YouTube. We'll be streaming live. I think Leclerc has checked out of this season already. He hasn't got a car that's obviously clearly fast enough to fight the Red Bulls. He wants to be fighting for a world championship, and I think him bidding it in qualifying yesterday. Upshifts are not that smooth for Verstappen reporting. Are we going to see the first of the reliability proper issues in a race? So it's average pit stops, guys, is 17 seconds, by the way, if you want to keep an eye on gaps. Are we going to see some reliability issues here for the first time this season with the Red Bulls? I think we're going to see something at least some point this year with those. By the way, Alonso taking the mediums, 22 laps. Is he going to go out a bit longer, or is he going to come into the pits? I think he's going to take him a bit longer. So Alonso's trying to go as long as he can on those medium tyres, doing 32s quite comfortably. Alonso, keep an eye on Alonso, guys. He might come and play a pivotal role in this race later on, because Alonso's gap behind is at the moment, so obviously 17 seconds. He's got a comfortable pit window to Sainz at the moment. So, Verstappen gearbox issue, possibly. as Albon comes into the pits. But yeah, sorry, going back to Leclerc, I said this not a little while ago, as Perez sets the fastest lap of the race of 31.5. I think he's checked out. I think he'd much rather not be racing this year, considering how poor the Ferrari is. And as well, you have to think the only thing he has to play for now is a pole position. That's why he proper went for it yesterday. Now, you can say it is overdriving. Of course it is. But he's also got nothing else to really race for this year. People will say podiums, but Charles Leclerc wants a world title. He wants to be racing for wins. He doesn't want to be racing for third position, which quite clearly Ferrari are this year. So, from his perspective, you may call it quite spoiled, but I'd say at the same time, it's like, well, if you know straight away that you missed out on the World Championship last year, mainly due to, I mean, the car wasn't quite good enough, but mainly due to a lot of strategic errors and team errors as well. And then straight out the box, the season's almost a write-off. Ferrari's ambitions are to win the Constructors and to win the World Drivers' Championship as well as their drivers are. If you know that straight away, then what's the point? I totally get where he's coming from, and I think that's what we're seeing from Leclerc. So, but yeah, Hamilton now passed Hülkenberg, it seems. So he has gone 22 laps. This be interesting to see what Hamilton can do now, unless he gets attacked by Hülkenberg. It'd be interesting to see what Hamilton can do in a bit of clean air. Of course, he's on 23 old lap tyres. Verstappen responds to Perez's 131 with a 131.9. So, nobody has a car that can beat Red Bull pace. It will come down to track incidents or DNS. Red Bull's going to dominate. There's no way, because they're not going to have two cars that muck up in the same race. So let's be honest. It's Mercedes' situation a la 2014 again, 2015, etc. In the early hybrid era, as we're seeing in the new era of these regulations, there's always generally one team that dominates and gets it right. If you look at when there was big regulation changes, the problem is that we just kind of got at the end of last year, at the end of 2021, we kind of just got teams, the regulations were just about right. Team cars were able to follow, but there was two teams properly fighting out, evenly paced. It looked like Ferrari was catching up as well. And then, yeah, of course, we've kind of gone back again. So, who really wants to take the championship? No one wants to take the championship. Why is it only 226 people and only 35? It's only 35 likes. Oh my God. Come on, guys. Hit the like button if you can, please. Much appreciated. I don't want to be one of those guys, but it does help push the stream, helps the algorithm, etc. And if you haven't already and you're new here, hit the subscribe button, because we are doing these watch-alongs as many as I can. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Imola. I think we have another triple header coming up. We have Imola, then we have Monaco. Not a fan of Monaco, guys. We might as well watch qualifying and then turn it off for the race. Mods. I'll get rid of that as well. A few more bots showing up today. So Alonso has pitted now, and where's he come out from? Behind signs in all of that as I was chatting. So I did see that you could get married at Imola. I don't think the missus would be too happy if I said we're getting married at Imola. If I didn't tell her what Imola was, she might be excited. If I said we're getting married in Italy and we're getting married in Imola, she'd be like, oh, yeah. Until we turn up and she finds out it's the racetrack. I don't think I'd even be getting married. So Perez there is napping good at the moment in one. Max trying to say, let me know what the limitation is on the mediums, but we know about the front wing. And GP has come on and gone, don't worry, like, you focus on driving, please. She'd kill you, but think of the savings. True. Weddings over here are extortionate at the moment, so. Checo still have the upper hand if Verstappen stops. I don't know at the moment. So, at the moment, I think it's still in Verstappen's hands. So, 17 seconds is the magic gap, guys. So, at the moment, 17 seconds is the pit stop loss. And Perez is within that. He's 16.2 seconds ahead. Now, the question is here, how much longer can Verstappen push these 25-old lap tyres doing 31s compared to Perez, who's doing obviously on much fresher, harder tyres, and doesn't want to pit too early onto the medium tyre because I don't think the medium tyre is going to be able to go 30-odd plus laps, as we said. I think he's still got at least another... 10 laps at least on these hard tyres. So, I've cycled around the Monaco track as it was getting built. Oh, was you? Did Verstappen pit? No, not yet. Verstappen is in P1 outright. He got up to P2 after 15 laps, guys. And Perez has pitted from mediums to hard tyres. So you can see here on your screen, you've got the tyre history, how long the tyres that they're currently on are, whether they've made a pit stop or not, and, of course, the tyres they were on before. So everyone on the left-hand side is on the hard tyres. The older tyres get pushed to the right-hand side. How many times do I think Verstappen will win in his career? I'm going to say 4. 4 or 5, I think he'll win. Depends how much he can, just like Hamilton did, and just like every driver does, Schumacher as well, how long can Red Bull stay at the front, and how long can he properly utilise the car that they've got, where he's only fighting one teammate. That's the factor, really. Of course, Perez is going to give it a go, but I think 5, 6. Yeah, I just think the other teams will catch up. I think they will. I think Mercedes will catch up, and I think Ferrari will at some point. Next year is truly Ferrari's new car, shall I say, where Fred Vasseur comes in. Because ultimately, Mattia Binotto, there's always a carryover from him leaving. So Fred Vasseur has kind of picked up Mattia Binotto's car this year. The decisions he's made and the personnel changes and that won't really come into effect until next season. Of course, Mercedes are hard working on next season as well. So we'll see. We'll see. And I think Aston Martin as well. I think Aston Martin are only going to improve. So that's what I mean. Do Red Bull have another 2 years, even another year where they're that far ahead? I don't know. And also F1. I think especially F1, the ownership of F1 is very different to how it was 10 years ago. I think they'd make they know that having just one team so far ahead isn't good for business and isn't good for the show. So they will do things in the regulations to bring the teams closer together. So, yeah, I think there's that element into it as well. I'm not sure we will see, under the current ownership anyway, I'm not sure we will see someone get up to the 7 championships that Lewis and Michael Schumacher have got, because I don't think they'll allow one team to dominate that much for that long a period of a time, because it's not good for business. That's my opinion anyway. I mean, look at the decisions they're making now. It's all for the show. It's all for the entertainment. The sprints, the sprint shootout, and talking about there being more of them and different racetracks that they're going to. It's all about the show and the entertainment and the event. And they want the viewership. And one team dominating as much as they are isn't good for business. I mean, look at 2021. It was perfect for them. Like, it was perfect drama. 2 teams going at it. 2 brilliant drivers down to the very last of the race. Very last race of the season. And that's what they want. So, why is Charles so far back? Just struggling. He's just struggling. I mean, I haven't really heard anything on the radio, actually. So we're in an interesting phase of the race, guys. Let's take stock of the race and the positions as... the guys on the hard tyres are taking it long, as Alonso is all over the back of Ocon, who is on 28 old lap hard tyres. I bet he's getting flashbacks from Baku. Taking the hard tyres to the end of the race. I wonder if he's going to do the same again. So, Verstappen is currently 15.9 seconds ahead of Perez, obviously on 28 old lap hard tyres. Done very well to get to the front of the pack. And obviously 17 seconds is that magic number where he will lose the amount of seconds in the pit stop. Alonso currently in third on a set of hard tyres now, changing from mediums. Ocon is in fourth. Sainz, who has pitted, is in fifth. Hamilton yet to pit in sixth. Oh, hang on. So Verstappen being relayed the sectors that he's quicker than Perez in at the moment. But of course, Perez might be looking after his tyres a little bit more, just chipping away at Verstappen's times. And then we have obviously Russell, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda. Tsunoda's done quite well, up 8 positions, yet to pit. Gasly is in 10th position. Stroll up into 11th position as well, up 7 places, 30 laps on these hard tyres. Magnussen 12th, Leclerc struggling down in 13th position. A weekend to forget for him. Zhou and Bottas 14th, 15th. Albon, Norris and Piastri. I think they tried the soft tyre and it just didn't work for them. And De Vries and Sargent at the back. Max definitely winning this. I think it's in Max's hands, personally. Unless Sergio is... Because the thing is, Sergio has to take these hard tyres to the end of the race. So they're kind of both in tyre management phase. Even though Perez is obviously on fresher tyres. Because Perez has to take him to the end of the race. And he wants to have as well. The thing is, Max is going to be quick at the end of the race on a lighter fuel load, on a fresh set of medium or soft tyres. I'm going to assume mediums because he's already said mediums. And Perez needs at least some tyre life to be able to answer Max being quick in the initial first 10 laps of the medium tyre. So, yeah. We'll see. Obviously, we saw the graining on Perez's medium tyres. Max is going to be able to make them last longer. He's going to be kinder to those tyres because of the... because obviously of the lighter fuel load and the car is just lighter. So not as much pressure being put through those tyres. So Max has just been told you are able to lean on the tyres more. So there we go. Tyre saving phase is over and done with for Max, it seems. Maybe I have attention, please. Yuki in P9. Yep. So it's going to be interesting here because obviously a lot of guys, the guys who've already made a pit stop have gone onto the hard tyre. They're going to be taking that to the end. Everyone who is yet to make a pit stop, so Max, Ocon, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Stroll, Zhou, they're all going to be pitting onto medium tyres. And I think that medium tyre is going to come good at the end of the race. So, if Max wins this race, I don't know how he's managed to... it just so happens that the tyre has come to him. Because really, Perez was never going to start on the hard tyre because he needed a good launch off the line. You can't have really the leader starting on the medium tyre, on the harder compound tyre, and then get swamped at the start of the race. He needed to start on the medium tyre or the softer compound tyre, depending on what the strategy was. Max had to kind of do a different strategy to try and force something from the guys ahead if he wasn't able to overtake, then get some clean air. So, yeah, this race still a little bit interesting. I think it's in Max's hands. The way his pace is on those hard tyres at the moment compared to Perez, I think Max has got it here. I think he's got it. Tsunoda has not pitted. He will tumble down soon. Yes, yeah. But then they're going to come charging back through the field. That's the thing. They're quickly going to charge back. Yes, Hamilton been given the... Hamilton's been told to basically let Russell go through because he's not fighting Russell. Understandably. 15 laps, freshest hard tyres Russell has. More points for Yuki. How many for Debris? Oh, yeah, Nick has not had a good time. Nick is chasing down Zhou, but he's some way away. Do we have a safety? Is there still going to be... So, okay. So, sorry, guys. We now have... I just realised Zhou is out. Zhou is out of the pits. So, he has taken those hard tyres 31 laps. Are we going to start seeing the hard runners come into the pits? Let's see. So, yeah, maybe the mediums can go an extra 5 laps to then what they was expected. Lewis said he can go by, but I'm not backing off as Russell gets past Hamilton, as we see that on the track map. Whew. So, yeah, we're coming into the second half of this race. Interesting to see what is going to happen, guys. So, yeah, guys, if you can hit the like button, we're currently on just over 50 likes. There's over 220 of you in the stream. If you could please hit the like button, it'd be much appreciated. And subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back here again for the Imola Grand Prix. And for as many of the sessions that I can make, obviously, around work and life. Lance performance has declined as compared to start of the races. Yeah. Yeah, he has struggled a little bit compared to Alonso, that's for sure. As Ocon is all over the back of Sainz, by the way. Has Sainz had an issue? Has Sainz had a wobble somewhere? Because Ocon has just got past Sainz on 14 old lap hard tyres. What happened to Sainz there? Because Ocon is catching Alonso and Sainz. Obviously, Ocon's probably in push mode now. But Sainz has dropped back there. And Alonso, what has happened? Something has happened there, guys. I'm waiting for the TV cameras to catch up. He's definitely had an issue because I'm watching it on the timing screens on TV and Ocon was about 1.5 seconds behind Sainz. So Sainz definitely went wide and had an issue. So Max is being told at the moment 5 seconds behind Checo is what he will be when he comes out of the pits. They're asking him to extend as long as possible. So, Hulkenberg into the pits, guys. Hulkenberg taking those hard tyres, 32 laps. Are we going to see anyone else come into the pits on the hard tyres at the moment? No. So, yeah, that's it until Verstappen comes around. So, I think Max is going to continue on these hard tyres. 31.7. Perez is definitely slower than Verstappen, but of course, he's not going to be leaning on those tyres as hard as Max is right now. Yuki on the wall path after Hamburg. So where's Gasly at the moment? Gasly is currently 9th. So if everyone pits ahead of him, so he's going to... Tsunoda and Hamilton are going to pit. So Sainz is now on the back of Ocon. So Sainz, has he got ahead of Ocon there as they go into the marina? And he has indeed. So I don't know what happened to Sainz. He clearly had a wobble somewhere which allowed Ocon to overtake him. Maybe he ran wide through turn 7. Charles Leclerc, hang on. So, Ted Kravitz has just reported that Charles Leclerc has been protecting his tyres, which is why his lap times have been so poor. But I think it's been a little bit more than that, to be honest. I think he's just totally disinterested in this race today. So, thank you, Dewana. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, if you can hit the like button, guys, much appreciated. Subscribe as well. I sound like a broken record, but... if you don't ask, you don't get in this world, do you? So, and if you really want to support the channel, you can become a member. And you get a cool subscriber badge, cool emojis, just like subscribing on Twitch, basically. YouTube had to do their own things for less than the price of a coffee, a small coffee. Alonso gap is 14.6 seconds. He's just slow compared to the Red Bulls. I mean, he's pulling away from Sainz. That's really his battle, but that's the pace difference between the Red Bulls and everyone else on the track. When were the hards pit? I think I originally said 40 laps. I originally said 40 to 42 laps after we saw Piastri and Norris come into the pits on those hard tyres, and pretty much everyone saying... and everyone's saying that, yeah, I think it's plan A. As Max does a 31.2, Perez done a 31.4. So I think Perez definitely still has pace in the bank. He's just not leaning on those tyres. That's my hope anyway. That is my hope. But the problem is that while Max is able to do these times on 35 old lap hard tyres, imagine what he's going to be able to do on a fresh set of medium tyres. That's the worry for Perez. So, but the thing is, Max has got to overtake Sergio on track. That is the stickler here. How Perez is definitely going to defend hard. That race is going to be interesting. Max overtaking Perez. Max is not going to breeze past him, I don't think. Of course, equal machinery. Things could get spicy. This race is not over and done with whatsoever. The difference between Red Bull is that, well, just all round pretty much, guys. So where Red Bull is supreme is that they are the best on tyre wear, which is also not fair on the rest of the field. They're best on tyre wear. They're the quickest in a straight line. They're the quickest with DRS open. They're the most efficient with their DRS open as well, compared to everyone else on the grid. They've got less drag, and they're the fastest. I think they're the fastest, except from maybe Aston Martin. But they're definitely like in the top 3 of being like the fastest through the fastest corners. But where they're really supreme as well is in the slower corners. They're so good on traction out of the corners and through the slow corners, and that's really where it matters. It's because you'd think, oh, it's the fast corners which what mostly matters. Well, no, because most of the straights and the overtaking opportunities, especially that we've seen at the start of this season, they come from a slow corner, then into a very long straight. And you need good traction. You need to be able to stay close and get the drive out of those slow corners to be able to have an opportunity to overtake. And that's where everyone else struggles. So, with Perez pets for softs, he almost has the gap to Alonso. I think you'd be silly to give up track position. That's the thing. You'd be silly to get... Well, look, at the end of the day, losing here today would be hurtful. But overall, Perez hasn't really had the pace on Max here this week. But it would still hurt massively when your teammate starts 9th and you lose the race. And that's not because you've run a poor race. You've done everything that you've needed to. That's because the strategy and the way the tyre degradation has played out has just fallen into Max's hands. I think the one stopper was predicted, but I don't think it was predicted that the hard tyre would go this long. As, oh, by the way, Sainz has lost a position to Russell. Russell has overtaken Sainz. Russell into 4th position, chasing down Alonso now. Go on, Russell. Is there a podium on here for the Mercedes in George Russell? As, by the way, Hulkenberg set the fastest lap of the race as we're starting to see the hard runners come into the pits. Hulkenberg 30.9. Tsunoda is now out of the pits, under attack from Hulkenberg as we speak. And Hulkenberg, with those fresh or warmed up medium tyres, Tsunoda may come back at Hulkenberg, as he does actually. Hulkenberg ran a little bit deep and Tsunoda retains the position through 14, through the chicane. So let's see, how long is Verstappen going to stay out there? I mean, Perez has lost a little bit of time, 15.6 seconds now. Perez is just biding. Max is just biding his time and trying to eat these tyres out as much as possible. And Perez is trying to hold his time as well. But has Perez got an issue? 16.6 seconds behind now. What's happened there? Is he just really saving the tyres and not pushing? It was like a 14.5 second gap a little second ago. What has happened to Perez there? He's 31.8 first sector. That's nearly a second slower than Max last time around. Has he run deep somewhere? Perez has had a little bit of a wobble and run deep through sector 1. That's interesting. Hamilton into the pits and now out behind Albon. So Hamilton is going to have to do a bit of overtaking out on track, guys. He's going to have to overtake Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Leclerc, Stroll and Gasly if he wants to get a top 6 position today. Why did McLaren run softs? I don't know. I think they was thinking that the 2-stop might be viable today. Pirelli thought it was going to be viable, but it turns out it wasn't the case, and they pitted onto hards pretty quickly. And maybe they saw, I don't know, I didn't see it on TV. Maybe the degradation was so severe on those softs early on a full tank of fuel. They thought, oh. So Hamilton, fastest middle sector, by the way, at 33.8 there. As you can see, purple. Obviously, DRS assisted as he got past Albon. So Hamilton on a fresh set of medium tyres is on a charge. Everyone ahead of him is on 20 old, 30 old lap tyres. Stroll is going to come into the pits at some point. So this could be fun. This could be fun seeing Hamilton fight his way through the field. First half of the race has been a little bit boring for him. just trying to obviously make those hard tyres last as much as possible. So is Verstappen going to come into the pits this time around as others are doing? Not sure. I'm not sure. As Perez is... Wow, what's going on with Perez, by the way? A 17-second gap now. He's within the pit window of Verstappen. Is the rain coming? I don't know. I haven't seen any notification that it is. Don't think Verstappen have enough gap to pit and come out in front of Checo. No, the gap, he hasn't got the gap to come out in front of Checo, but obviously he's got to overtake him out on track. But seems like Perez might be suffering a little bit, as Hamilton is now on the back of Bottas, his former Mercedes teammate, into turn 11. Is he able to get ahead of him with the fresher medium tyres compared to Bottas's hards? They're side by side as they go through the marina, and Hamilton just patiently waits as they go through the chicane. He should be able to get, obviously with that fresh rubber, a nice exit out of turn 16 and easily get past the Alpha. I mean, I think it's safe to say that the Mercedes will have the straight line speed difference over Bottas to overtake down into turn 17. I mean, I could be wrong. They're side by side. I think Bottas has probably got DRS here. I was holding my tongue as Ocon is in the pits. Is Hamilton going to come out ahead of Ocon? He does. Hamilton comes out ahead of Ocon and stays ahead of Bottas. Whew. I thought I was nearly going to eat my words. So that was the fight. That was the fight that Mercedes were saying Hamilton had on their hands, Ocon. So it'll be interesting to see if Ocon can chase down Hamilton. Obviously only has two. Obviously the out laps a little bit slow, obviously trying to get the tyres up to temperature. So it's important for Hamilton to maybe try. It's important for Hamilton to try and get ahead of that DRS gap. Just watching the car. Brilliant move by Hamilton. Brilliant move. He did a nice cheeky little cutback on turn 17 on Valtteri. That was nice to see. Always love a nice little cutback. Russell really wants that podium champagne. Yeah, so the gap between Russell and Alonso at the moment. So keep an eye on the lap times. Alonso did a 31.4 last time around. But Perez, is he in severe tyre saving mode? Is he in tyre saving mode at the moment? 31.6 last time around. Max is just pushing on those hards. I mean, the fact he's able to do low 31s compared to Perez in mid 30s or 31s. I said 15 laps maybe Verstappen will do on the medium tyre. Leclerc, yeah, sorry, there's sometimes a little bit of a buffer when it comes to the track map, guys. A little bit of a buffer. Come on, guys, 65 likes. Come on. Let's get it to 100. 17 seconds, yeah, Javier apparently. 17 seconds. So they might have... Verstappen might have the gap to Perez now. 18 seconds. So Perez had a... Ooh. So Perez had a big wobble, exactly where Charles Leclerc did, which is why he's dropped back a little bit. Haven't seen it on TV yet. I did wonder why he lost a second there. I think Max has got this. I know Max is going to have to... Well, he might not even have to overtake Perez. It might be really close. They might have got the gap to Perez already. I mean, how is it possible, though, guys, that Max is on 41 old lap hard tyres and is doing the fastest laps of anyone out there on fresh medium rubber? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. That's just not right. That doesn't sit right with me. I know they're quick. They should not be the quickest man on the grid with 41 old lap hard tyres. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. I don't care what car you are. It shouldn't be the case. I know Max is quick. It shouldn't be the case. It is Max being Max, of course it is, but it's... You have to realise that there shouldn't be any car in any track at any year where there'll be the quickest car on track on 41 old lap hards. 42 old lap hards now. It's just not, it shouldn't be feasible. Stroll's done 42 laps on the hard tyre. It's just, I don't understand it, and I don't like it. And I think they've dropped the ball in 2 weeks in a row. Pirelli. So, my man, who am I supporting? Minus 1.7 now. Max is being reported is his track position. So he's going to come out ahead of Perez. Who am I supporting? So I say this, I always support the Brits. Hamilton, Norris, Russell, Albon, even though he races under the tyre flag. Of course, as well, I am a Mercedes fan and I'm a McLaren fan. They're pretty much who I support. But overall, I do have other favourites. There's others I don't particularly like as much. But yeah, I just want to see good racing. And I want to see a fight for the championship and watch edge on my seat stuff. Remember Hamilton 2 years ago putting off something similar. Hamilton in the 35 seconds on laps and still pulling top laps. Yeah, I don't care who you are. As Stroll comes into the pits now. Max has got to come into the pits now, surely. Surely he's coming into the pits. No. 43 laps is going to take him. That's crazy. His team orders nowhere. Checker goes from gaining half a tenth a lap to losing half a second a lap. Red Bull don't want them to fight. Well, they've said they're going to let them fight. But I don't think we're going to... I don't think we're even going to get an opportunity to see that because Max is just pulled out the gap and Sergio cannot find an answer on these hard tyres. Fresher hard tyres. Unless he's holding something in the bank, but I don't think he is because you would... Now's the time for you to pump in some quick laps because otherwise Max is going to come out ahead of you. Or he is going to come out ahead of you. So... But apparently Max is doing a large amount of lift and coast as well because of the fuel level. I suppose Max is one stop hard to soft. No, I don't think he'll go soft. I don't think he'll risk it. I mean, he may do. He may do. I mean, how... I'm going to repeat myself. How is he the fastest man on track with 43 lap hard tyres? How? I mean, credit where it's due to Max, of course, but it just shouldn't be possible on those tyres. It just should. One set of tyres like that shouldn't be possible, regardless of which car it is and regardless of whose hands it's in. I think it just spoils the race. I think Baku was spoilt by that, and I think this race has been spoilt by it. As Perez, okay. So Perez now responds slightly with a fastest lap of the race of 30.8. Okay. Lift and coasting is Max. So, mean Red Bull is Red Bull. The real question is, how is he faster than Perez? Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier on, Perez hasn't quite been as fast here this week as Max. I think that's been quite evident in all of the practice sessions and even in qualifying. Obviously, Perez was fortunate that Max, obviously the red flag came out when it did and he wasn't able to set a quick lap time. But if this was standard qualifying, if this was a standard before the weekend or as we got like on Friday or got to Saturday, I think Perez probably would have taken a second place here this week. But to see your teammate to start first on the grid, do everything right, because he has personally done everything right, and then see your teammate come from 9th place on an alternate strategy and beat you is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But on one hand, it's also like, well, there's not much more else I could have done apart from at least make him get it out on track as Max comes into the pits. So if there's a decent pit stop here, he comes out ahead of Perez and will be on fresh rubber and will just drive off into the distance. So can't understand how much he's faster in the same car with a slower and more aged compound. Yeah, I don't get it either, as Max is definitely good. It seems like a good pit stop as Perez comes round. No, Perez So Perez is going to come out ahead of Verstappen, although Verstappen is going to be on a fresh set of medium tyres. And to be honest, guys, this is going to be probably the easiest overtake you will see. But at least Perez has got the opportunity to fight for it out on track. We haven't seen this all season yet. We haven't seen Max attempt an overtake on Sergio. So this is going to be interesting. So how much quicker is Max on those medium tyres? He's going to be supremely quicker. Supremely. Lance Stroll just did a 30.8. Max is going to be doing low 30s, 100%. So he's not in the DRS just yet. So can Sergio keep Verstappen out of the DRS? I don't think so. But at least Sergio is making him fight for this. This is what we've wanted to see. Come on. What was the pole lap in quali? 20... Was it 27 or something? I can't remember. So he's just made up half a second through the slower section there, through the marina and the chicane, just because of the supreme grip that Max has on the softer compound medium tyre. So this is just an inevitability, to be honest. So, okay, interesting. So Max now has DRS. So Sergio, interesting. Anthony Davison is reporting that Red Bull, conspiracy theory time, guys, conspiracy theory time. Sergio Perez, side of the garage, has not informed him of hardly anything in regards to gaps, times with him and Max Verstappen. Conspiracy time? Is that intentional? I don't know. I love a good conspiracy, so why not just stir the pot? But here we go. Max in the DRS. Obviously, they're in equal machinery. He is going to gain on Sergio. I think Max will be smart. I don't think he'll go into turn 11. I mean, he's so much quicker. I think he's going to struggle here. Max is going to, of course, be patient. Get the drive out of turn 16. That's where it all matters. And just breeze past him down into turn 17. Here we go, guys. Here we go. So Sergio, of course, will be using the battery, but I don't think there's anything he can do. Of course, the gain isn't going to be as much as it is elsewhere. Max has, obviously, fresher tyres as they go side by side. And they're going side by side through the last quarter, through turn 17. Has Perez been able to hold it? Of course, Max will get DRS down. Obviously, the main start straight. Perez held him off there. Max maybe being a little bit cautious. And Verstappen is ahead. He's going to have, obviously, the supreme grip as they go through turn 1. And that is pretty much it. Perez now 3 tenths behind Max. And Max will drive off into the distance and win this race from 9th place on the grid on an alternate strategy. I did not think that was going to be the case today. I really didn't. As good as Max is, as good as that Red Bull is, I thought Perez would have more than enough on that strategy to win today. Just watching it where they went side by side. Max tried to do the cutback and just used the DRS. So Perez is going to now try and come back at Max as they go into turn 11. But this is where you'll see Max just build the gap through turn 11, through the slower section where he's got the rear grip available to him. And you can see there, they were very respectful as they went into turn 1, guys. And, well, Max just had so much more drive off the corner compared to Sergio. But look at that. Look at the gap he pulls off of turn 16. The tightest corner on the circuit. And, wow, that is what new rubber does for you guys. Woo. Right, so let's check. Let's check a little bit. Can you make a video about your favourite F1 conspiracy theories? Well, I always feel like conspiracy theories, there's always an element of truth that happens from the reason why a conspiracy theory forms. I don't think sport is kind of immune to theories and the outrageous. So, yeah. Kudos to Max racing a class of his own, coming from 9th. Yeah, I mean, 45 laps on a set of hard tyres. How? 1, how? And 2, how was he still the fastest man on track with 45 old lap hard tyres. That's what blows my mind and is what I will be bringing up in the Missed Apex podcast afterwards. Because I don't think even Red Bull probably thought Max had an opportunity to win this race today. I think if they're being honest, I think they might thought, well, it might be a little bit close, but I think overall, yeah, Sergio will have enough here to beat him today. Even with Max being obviously the quicker driver generally over the weekend, but not by too much. I don't think there was enough differential in their outright pace for Max to really beat Perez by as much as like what he has done today and make up as much. So maybe he had ultra hard tyres, yeah. But right, so let's have a look down the field and see what's happening in the points as obviously that kind of race up front is finished now as we come up with 8 laps nearly remaining. So Max obviously first, Perez second, Alonso 8 seconds ahead of Russell. Russell not able to close that gap on Fernando Alonso. Sainz is in 5th position, not quite close enough to Russell. It seems like the podium is matched. Alonso going to get another 3rd place and be the best of the rest. Really good start to the season for him. Leclerc is now in 7th. Gasly in 6th position, doing quite well, being chased down by Leclerc. But Hamilton is closing the gap. Nearly 6 tenths last time around on Leclerc. Be interested to see. I think this is probably where the interesting fight is at. Is he got enough laps left, Hamilton, to catch Leclerc and Gasly? Ocon in 9th position, being chased by Magnussen. Be a good result for them this week if the Alpines could both get a double points finish. Bottas in 11th, being chased by Tsunoda. Another good showing for Tsunoda, really. Up 5 positions and being chased down by Stroll, who's also up 5 positions after his poor qualifying Saturday. Albon in 14th, being chased by Hulkenberg, Zhou, and then Norris. Wow, 17th place. 44 old lap hard tyres at the moment, and Piastri down there as well in no man's land, as well as De Vries and Sargent. So Hamilton last time around, he did a 31.3 compared to Leclerc's 31.8. Gasly did a 32. So Hamilton is chipping away 7 tenths per lap to Gasly and about half a second per lap to Leclerc. So that is... Alonso is watching the TV screens. Alonso is watching the TV screens and just come on the radio, guys, and gone, what position is Lance in now? Because that was a great move into turn 1. That's brilliant. That's brilliant from Alonso. Can we see Perez win the title? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, ultimately, he just needs to make sure that, look, whenever Max finishes first, he's second. There's going to be races where Perez will finish first and Max likewise has to do the same. There's going to be times this year, I think, where reliability will come into it. I'll be shocked. I'd be shocked if Perez, if the Red Bulls go throughout the whole year without any reliability issues. It's just obviously being there to capitalise on that when they do get caught up in a tangle, when someone does make a mistake and things like that. Hey, George. How many Proseccos are you down? Alonso watching Netflix, yeah. No, my pleasure, Graham. My pleasure to everyone who is in this stream. Much appreciated. I'll go say it again. If you can hit the like button, it would be really great. We're currently on 71 likes. Come on, 29 more of you. Hit the like button. Get us over to 100 likes. It's amazing what that does for us getting the stream out there and getting the channel out there. As Tsunoda has overtaken Bottas, by the way. Great performance from him today. Has he got enough to chase down Magnussen for a points finish? I'm not sure he has. Where is he on the grid? Maybe. Needs to make up 4.5 seconds in 6 laps. I'm not sure he's going to have enough there. But Alonso quick on hard tyres. Yeah. 30.7 by Alonso. The McLaren, Aston Martin is very good on its tyres. We saw that at the start of the year in Bahrain. There's a period of time for the race where they're quite happy to drop back into the clutches of the Ferraris and the Mercedes, and then they just get a move on. And Alonso just pulls away and pulls a gap like he has done now. We've seen it a couple of times already in the 6 races we've had this season. So Lando's such a good young talent, but he's in such a bad car. I tell you what, that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see come the season ends. Because McLaren, of course, is nowhere near this year. They've pretty much admitted they've already dropped the ball in this season. Is Norris going to put the feelers out there? Does he want to waste any more years? Obviously, he's looking at Verstappen now. He's looking at Russell, who's similar age. He's looking at those and thinking, I should be fighting for at least podiums. I should not be fighting for bloody 17th position. Piastri, of course, is his rookie year, so he's just glad to be in F1. But yeah. Where would he go? Be reserve driver? Yeah, but that's the problem. There's not any movement, is there, in a top team? So Max doing a 30.3. Wow. Just listen to Christian Horner. So Christian Horner confirming, guys, that the best strategy today, all the simulations, all of the data they had, the best strategy they saw today was starting on the medium tyre. They would not have put Sergio on the harder compound tyre at the start, understandably. And Max has really made a difference in the middle stage of this race from laps 20 to laps 40. The pace just didn't drop. So I think that's pretty much confirmed. Max, the race has come to Max, and as the race has developed, it's quite clear that the hard tyre just wasn't degrading, whereas the medium did. So hard for Sergio to take this. It's hard, but at the same time, it's one of those. Rubber the green has gone to Max today. Credit where it's due. He's driven supremely well, but the hard tyre, and I'll say it again, should not last 45 laps anyway, and it should not allow a guy on 45 laps to still be setting the fastest laps of the race at that point. But yeah, let's take stock, guys. Let's take stock on Charles Leclerc, now up to 6th position, by the way. We was saying that he's I was saying he's given up. So Hamilton, oh yeah, sorry. In all of that, Gasly has dropped back and Hamilton is on the back of Leclerc. So Bosch absolutely closed up onto the back of Leclerc here. So I think, is he going to have enough with DRS? Of course, we know the Mercedes isn't great in that straight line speed, even with DRS open. Of course, he has the supreme grip. I think really here, Hamilton might try and stay tight out of turn 6, 7, and get him into turn 11. If not, it would definitely be on the back of him with the fresh rubber out of turn 16. That's what's crazy. He was able to do fastest times on 40 plus laps. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be talking to our tyre guru, guys. Matt Trumpets of the Missed Apex podcast. I'll be appearing on that afterwards, once I have dinner in between. Underrated drive from Russell. Yeah, I mean, Alonso still, that Aston Martin's really good. The fact that Alonso's doing it. As Hamilton is closing up on Leclerc here, guys. He is side by side and he's just breezed past Leclerc there. Got the supreme drive out of turn 8, full throttle all the way from there down to turn 11, DRS open, and with the fresh rubber, he will be able to get out of the clutches of Leclerc from turn 16. George Russell like, hang on a second, we're that close to Perez? And they went, no, sorry, it's Sargent. It's Logan Sargent, not Perez. It's a blue car, but it's not Sergio. George Russell was like, yeah, I was going to say. Leclerc not visiting the wall this time? No. Lewis got very close to Charles, though. Jesus, when I say they went side by side, oh, Jesus, sorry. They were very, very close, guys. Very close. Strategy-wise, there wasn't much of an alternative for Perez. No, there wasn't. And the reason why they started Max on the hards is because of where he started. Because they predicted quite correctly that everyone ahead would start on the mediums. So they know they've got pace in hand, even on the harder compound tyre, to kind of make some overtakes, but also run longer, get some clean air, to run some quicker laps than the rest of the field, and then eventually pit and do the overcut on basically the rest of the field. I don't think even Max probably assumed that he would be in the position he is at the start of the race. Probably expected that the medium might have lasted a bit longer and the hard tyre would, well, maybe not even the medium last as long as it did, but he would come out behind Perez and really have to do some chasing to even get close to him with Sergio on the hard tyre. But yeah, quite clearly he was able to just breeze through the field easier than they expected and just not even eke those tyres out, just continue to drive on those tyres and do supreme times on them. Get Max on P1 and check on P2, yeah. Max won as a gap with Perez with so much ease, can hardly believe it. Yeah, but look, rubber the green today, really, for Max. The strategy fell into his path. If they started on the same strategy and they was like first and second today on the grid, I think we would have seen a closer fight. I think Max, as I said, has had the overall pace, but not as quick as like what it's been made out to be. On different strategies today, that's been a bit more evident. But yeah, some races are going to come to them, some races aren't. They just need to be there to take those opportunities. All it takes is for one reliability issue for Max or for Sergio, and yeah, they're and for them to win the race. And there's a big swing in points. So at the moment, they've finished 1-2. They finished 1-2 every race, haven't they? So Max has won more at the moment, but I can guarantee I'm going to put my hat on it. Not that I'm wearing a hat. And you can come back to this, you can clip it. They will not be 1-2 every single race this year. No way. So, only 2 laps left. Can anything change? Where's the closest fight at the moment? Not really. Leclerc is closest to Hamilton, but we know Hamilton's on the fresher rubber. Albon is close to Bottas, but that's for kind of nothing outside the points. Stroll is within the DRS of Tsunoda, so maybe Tsunoda's going to come under attack from Lance Stroll. Yuki is obviously too far behind Magnussen to kind of get into the points there, which is a shame. Kind of deserves it. Credit where it's due. I always say it. I've been a big critic of Yuki the first 2 years he's been in F1, but this year he's really doing a job and stepping up. Lance Stroll is within the DRS. Is he within the DRS? Yeah, he is within the DRS. Not going to have enough to get into turn 1, but Perez no, they haven't got that big of a gap. Oh no, they have actually. They have, but no, there's no point. There's no point risking coming in and for there to be an issue when you throw away a second place. So 100% podium rate for Max so far. Yeah, well, he's finished first or second, isn't he? No, Hamilton's probably just managing, to be fair. There's only 1 lap remaining. We're on the white flag, guys. We're on the white flag now. I'm not even going to ask who your driver of the day is because I think it's quite evident who driver of the day is, guys. But if you can hit the like button, guys, where are we at? We are at 81 likes. Come on, there's nearly 300 of you here. We only need 18. No, only need 19 more. 19 more likes to hit 100. It'd be really appreciative. More importantly, though, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back here doing these watch-alongs for the rest of the season. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for Imola. As Stroll is on the back of Yuki now, 7 tenths behind. Oh, sorry, it was checkered flag. Apologies, it was checkered flag. I thought it was on the last lap. It was checkered flag. So, yep, Max wins this race, guys. Sergio finishes second. Stroll hasn't been able to get Yuki out of the last corner there. And Magnussen, well, Tsunoda was catching maybe another lap or so, and he might have caught Magnussen. But yes, Sergio Perez finishes second to Max Verstappen. Who thought that, guys? Who thought that? Alonso finishing P3, another podium. Fernando. George Russell finishing 4th. Not a bad day at the office for Russell, really. Mercedes weren't strong here this week. Sainz finishing 5th. Really under the radar, as well as Leclerc in 7th. Hamilton wedged the meat between a Ferrari sandwich there in 6th position. 7 places up. A good drive from him, really, in the grand scheme of things. Doing quite a few overtakes there on the fresh medium tyres. He's made quite a few overtakes now in the last couple of weeks, Lewis. So he's still got it. People say he's done. Just because he's in the midfield doesn't mean, well, fighting for the midfield, really. Doesn't mean that he still hasn't got it. Gasly and Ocon, a good points all for them. 8th and 9th after, obviously, a shocking last few races for them. The Alpines. Magnussen in 10th place, picking up probably a well-deserved point. He obviously with qualifying yesterday. Sonoda, once again, just missing out on the points finish. I think that's his third place. Third race, he's finished in 11th position, guys. Stroll in 12th, 6 places up. Not bad at all order to try and make it into the points from where he started on this track. Just listen to Max on the radio, see what he has to say. Just see what he's got to say. Max goes, call that simply fucking lovely. So, Bottas 13th, Albon 14th, Hulkenberg 15th, Zhou 16th. Terrible day at the office weekend for Norris and Piastri in their McLarens. De Vries and Sargent not improving on their poor start to this season, guys. And there we go. That is the end of the Miami Grand Prix. We will stay on here, though, and we will see what occurs in regards to the cool-down room. I'll be interested to see what they have to say. But yeah, no, big thank you, guys. Thank you for the subs. We are at 95 likes. Go on. 5 more likes, guys. I don't even think I've liked my own stream yet, but that doesn't count. So, but yeah, no, really appreciate it. Really enjoyed that. We made it just in time and nearly had 300 of you in here watching this race. But, hang on. Sergio Perez. See what they just got to say. I'd be interested to hear if there's anything that comes out in regards. I'd be interested to hear what occurred with Sergio hardly having any correspondence from his team throughout that race. As I said, conspiracy theory time, guys. Conspiracy theory. I wonder if there'll be anything said in the debrief. Of course, maybe Sergio didn't ask for the information, but you'd expect them to provide the information, at least let him know. So, interesting. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Veronica. Renee, no problem whatsoever. We're, as I said, just going to wait for the cool-down room to occur and just see what they actually have to say to each other. I wonder if Perez makes a comment about the hard tyres at all, or if Alonso does. Of course, if they're not too talkative, I'm sure Alonso will be. But Verstappen has hacks. Max got the fastest lap, so he got an extra point today as well. So he increases his lead over Perez. And we head to Imola in 2 weeks' time, guys. 2 weeks' time. We definitely needed rain. Yes and no. I mean, did we really expect the hard tyre to go as long as it did? No. That's 2 races in a row now where the hard compound tyre has gone extremely long and not degraded, whereas the medium compound tyre has. We shouldn't see races like this. There's 2 races in a row where we've seen... Sergio and Max are laughing, actually. They're chatting a little bit. Can't really hear what they're saying. Sergio is like... I think Sergio's quite understandable that it didn't go his way today in regards to the strategy. All the simulations expected that he was on the optimum strategy today. And it turned out that it flipped on its head as the race went on. So, any question of driver of the day? No, not really. Verstappen with Hamilton... If you had to put it in an order, Verstappen first and then Hamilton second. Hamilton made up 8 positions today and Lewis made up 7. Obviously having to do a lot of overtakes actually on his second stint. So, yeah, credit where it's due there. And then I would say Yuki Tsunoda would be third. So, but yeah, position to take away hard tyres. Well, not necessarily take away the hard tyres, but just bloody make the compounds softer. I mean, they've got about 7 different compounds that they can do in regards to the tyres, and they've got it wrong the last 2 weeks. Maybe the new tyre surface, the new track surface didn't come and help here today. Obviously, it's not a new surface, isn't abrasive enough, so it doesn't degrade the tyres. But I think Pirelli in general this year have been very cautious in their compound selection. We haven't seen anywhere near enough two-stops. Two-stops make races interesting. There's more that can go wrong. We see softer compound tyres come into play. We see the drivers going at it more rather than the tyre saving. Of course, tyre saving is an element, but we've seen too much of it in the first 6 races of this season. So just hearing what Checo has to say on the podium, guys. He seems like he's got a smile on his face. Yeah, I think it's one that he understands. Didn't come to him today. First stint was really poor in a medium tyre. Yeah, it just degraded heavily. But yeah, there we go, guys. Hang on. There we go. Oh, hang on. Let me change that. Yeah, so there we go. That is the end of the Miami Grand Prix. Max with an absolute supreme drive. I mean, who would have thought he would have won that at the start of this race? I definitely didn't. I thought it definitely would have been a 1-2, but Perez would have been so far ahead. I mean, you look at everyone. Now I'm looking at it. Everyone who was on the hard tyre started on the hard tyre and finished on the medium, apart from Hulkenberg and Zhou, made up considerable positions. Verstappen made up 8 positions. Hamilton made up 7 positions, and then Yuki and Stroll made up 6 positions each as well. The only anomalies in there were Ocon, who lost a position, and Hulkenberg and Zhou. So the majority of those who were on the alternate strategy today, who started on the hard tyre, made up significant positions. So yeah, clearly the data every team had was wrong. So yeah, a bit of a shame that the race ended up the way it did, with the hard tyre going as long as it did, because yeah, we didn't see. It was a bit of a boring race. I'm going to stand by what I always say, guys. What I'd said last year. I'm not a fan of the Miami Grand Prix. It is not a good racetrack. It is about the event. It is about the show. We've already got a circuit like that on the calendar, Monaco. We're now going to have 3 on the calendar, and I'm going to say it, we haven't even gone there yet. Vegas. Vegas is going to be exactly the same as Miami. It's going to be a dead circuit. It's got the longest straight on the calendar, and it's going to be completely boring. It's going to be about celebrity spotting, influencer spotting, and the racing is going to be drab and poor. And well, for the penultimate race of the season, it's not going to be great. A little bit of a rant there. Yeah, at least, I mean, Imola's a great circuit, but once again, not the best circuit for racing. Who knows? Who knows at Imola? You never know kind of what weather you're going to get as well, which makes things interesting. But yeah, at least, once again, Perez has stayed within the fight. I think at the start of this weekend, or after the Friday practice sessions, if you offered him second place with Verstappen finishing first, I think he would have bit your hand off for it. So shame it didn't fall into his lap today, because there would have been pretty much all level on points going into Imola. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, turn those notifications on. I am going to be on the Missed Apex podcast in just under an hour's time. We're starting at 11 o'clock. You can listen back on Spotify as well, iTunes, Acast, other podcast platforms, but we'll be live streaming over there where you can hear my thoughts some more and of the panel as well. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, guys. We're back in just a couple of weeks' time. Plenty more sim racing content coming your way as well. The hand is healing up nicely. I'm able to at least get 2 hands on the wheel now. So my favourite track is always Silverstone. I love Silverstone. Obviously British bias, but it has a great flow to it. It's my favourite to drive on sim racing, and it always provides great racing and great races. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your evening, morning, day, wherever you are, guys, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.